Health and Fitness with David Hollywood.
With DS Sports. Is your sports club ready for a Christmas kit upgrade? Contact DS Sports. dssports.ie.
Hello, welcome and happy almost Christmas. Let's check this week's show. Very shortly we'll talk about how to navigate the festive period when it comes to your nutrition. We learn about the 12-hour spin-athlon and run-a-thon taking place in Westmeath. Laois professional boxer Cian Reddy's on the show to talk us through his Christmas training schedule, and we celebrate the Gold Mile, which will see people across the Midlands raising funds for people whose lives and livelihoods have been shattered by conflict, disease and climate change. It is the season, which means we've got lots to look forward to, but for a lot of people, I think the whole idea of Christmas can be extremely stressful. And why would that be? Well, there's the obvious stuff based around our consumerism, buying presents, obligations to get presents for people, obligations to be in social scenarios. But there's another thread that I don't think gets covered enough, and that's the idea of this, how would I put it? We're almost gluttonous, aren't we? We have food everywhere, and for a lot of people that can be an extremely stressful experience if they've had their own personal story with nutrition or food or any of the associated things that come along with that. I'm very glad to introduce onto Health and Fitness this evening as we ramp up towards Christmas, nutritional therapist and positive health coach from Belmont, Breda Malini. Breda, thanks again for joining us on Health and Fitness.
Absolutely no problem. Looking forward to the Christmas break now.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's a chance for a rest. It's a chance to plug out from the treadmill of our lives, as it were. But by the same token, as I've just mentioned there, it does come with its own complications. Let's talk about things just personally yourself. You're obviously really nutrition focused. You've got the information at hand firsthand. You know the stuff off the top of your head, and you must go through Christmas observing like what is absolutely insane behaviour by all of us. What do you make of it all?
I think because Christmas is meant to be a joyous time, you know, it is meant to be a time where you're meeting up, particularly at this time, meeting up with family and friends and slowing down a little. So I think we do tend to just kind of want to enjoy all the luxury that is associated around Christmas. And while not taking away from that, it's making the good choices, I think, would be more important than anything else, and rather than taking the complete joy out of it as such. I mean, I love my chocolates and I love my glass of wine, all that at this time of the year. And I don't think it's just being mindful, really, of the volume, I think, as much as anything else of those things.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, like, obviously, the ball really gets rolling for some people this weekend, but certainly Christmas Eve onwards. And I suppose, is it a case of just being mindful of what the kind of how the week usually goes? So, if you've got a few minutes, get out and stretch your legs, or if you've had a couple of glasses of wine in the afternoon socially, make sure you follow it up with a few glasses of water. These kinds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the biggest thing is if you can, I would say, particularly if we would say coming into this weekend just try as much as possible, be prepared, make your lists, decide what you want actually within your house. While if you go visiting, you're kind of caught as regards what you're going to be served. But if you can control what you have within your own home, then you're really on a good path. So, I mean, you will always buy something. You always have to have things in the house for the just in cases, in case people call and all that. We kind of want treats to give to them. But a lot of the time, we tend to buy far too much for who we expect to come into our homes. And then we end up eating all this stuff ourselves. So just be a little bit more prepared. Make your lists and kind of make decisions early on rather than this panic buying on a couple of days before Christmas, and then it's not in your house. If it's not in your house, you're not going to overindulge with the alcohol. A glass of wine or whatever people are having. If they alternate with every couple of glasses, have a glass of water. And there's a nice little supplement. It's called milk thistle that you can take at night. It'll help detoxify the liver and things like that. It'll kind of help with the hangover the next day. I won't say it'll cure the hangover by any means, but it will help detoxify the liver. So it kind of cuts down on that impact of a lot of alcohol. But definitely alternate with the water. Over the Christmas, try and have a few alcohol-free days as well, which is no harm. Absolutely. So, not to be continually drinking or overindulging. If you can, to take the break. And as you said there, get out for a walk, get out in some fresh air and take the time then, because first of all, it'll de-stress you. If you're getting out, getting a bit of fresh air, if you're walking or cycling or whatever, and then it gets you out of the house, it gets you just back out in nature, which is far better for your health. It also aids sleep as well, so particularly if you get out in the morning. So all those things, because we have a lot more late nights around this time of the year, between work parties in the house, different things like that. So it kind of makes, the time, our schedule changes big time.
This stuff must wreak havoc with our metabolism as well, considering we kind of become more sedentary, but our calorie intake goes through the roof.
Yes. Well, now, the average, depending on what you have, a Christmas dinner can be anything between 14,000 or 1,400 calories, not 14,000, 1,400 to 2,000 calories, because genuinely you can't eat a bigger dinner than that.
Okay.
You really can't. It's what we then will say, the snacking side of things. That's where our calories come in.
That's what I was thinking. Like, my vague memories heading into Christmas are of the mince pies being passed around, the open tray of chocolates being passed around, a chocolate biscuit. Oh, will you have a turkey sandwich? And this could all happen within the space of 3 hours. And I suppose there's people in this world who struggle with their nutrition, be it their calorie intake, how they metabolize it, maybe they struggle with remaining active, and Christmas can be, I suppose, a triggering experience. And as you say, when you visit relatives and socially, you don't have control over the environment.
No, and that's the thing. So I think for anyone that's in that situation, I mean, where you can control your own environment, if you are visiting and going to parties, the biggest thing is never go hungry to a party. Make sure you have your evening meal, if it's a later one, that you actually eat before you go to the party. Then you're actually not hungry at the party, so you don't tend to graze as much. It depends on what you graze on as well. I mean, we all know. I mean, put a bowl of crisps in front of anyone, and it's non-stop. You just keep going until it's finished. And throw alcohol in the top of that tends to make you even graze even that bit more. So it's kind of a combination of a few things. But just the only trick I can say for somebody in that situation is just try and have your normal food before you go. Continue to eat, your 3 meals a day. Have a good breakfast, which is certainly important at this time, because at least then you're not hungrier during the day. And if it's a good healthy breakfast, with some form of protein into it, either, eggs and spinach, your avocado, your porridge, your Greek yogurt, things like that, even brown toast with nut butter and a banana. It's more satisfying, so you're not actually looking to snack early in the day. So it might limit the snacking as well. So even your fry up as well, but make sure it's grilled or in an air fryer,
Tell us this,
instead
Breda.
of fried.
It sounds like the more normality you can bring into the week and a half of Odyssey, the better that your body and your mind will cope with all of the extra stimulation or extra everything, I suppose.
Extra everything, yeah. Absolutely. I think it's just being prepared. Just stick, if you can at all, to your 3 meals, your normal 3 meals a day, even if there's a little bit extra within those 3 meals. That's perfectly fine. Even things like, excuse me, cheese boards and all of that, and they're extremely popular at this time of the year. Just cut the cheese thinner, just a little bit less. And also, I think my one advice as well is just try not to eat late as well, because if you're eating late, and you're trying to sleep, it actually is very disturbing on your sleep. Because your body's trying to digest the food instead of the body resting and repairing. It's actually trying to force digestion. So you end up with a very undisturbed sleep. And if you're more tired in the next morning and you're not rested, you're far more likely to actually overeat the next day.
That's such a good point. The disorientation, any form of anxiety, this strange sensation of not knowing what day it is. this all leads to allowing ourselves to make decisions we wouldn't normally do. But it sounds like a little bit of what you like over the course of the festive period. Not only is it good, it's probably important for everyone on a certain level. And beyond that, just keep an eye on things, and where you can do the right thing, go and do the right thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it is a time, it's so important that we connect with people, and it's all part of, being human, is that we have a connection and meeting up with people and enjoying that and relaxing to be able to enjoy it. And that is actually extremely good for your health as well. So, it is important to have a balance between the two, certainly.
Okay, well, I think we can leave it there with some pretty solid advice heading into the festive period. Breda, have yourself a very wonderful Christmas. Thanks for all the chats over the course of the year, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in 2025.
Absolutely, David. Thanks a million. Enjoy your Christmas, and happy Christmas to everybody on Midlands Radio 3.
Next, you meet a woman who's raising money for both the Athlone Family Resource Centre and the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association through the medium of endurance sport.
Health and fitness.
With DS Sports. Is your sports club ready for a Christmas kit upgrade? Contact DS Sports at 085 871 5311 or info@dssports.ie. DS Sports, the teamwear specialists. Your success, our priority. Let's grow together.
Midlands 103.
There's lots of people who are looking out for a new challenge, maybe a new habit to form when it comes to the new year. It's always the way, isn't it? Well, how does this sound to you? A 12-hour spin-a-thon or run-a-thon challenge. It's in the name of charity. It's taking place in the Midlands. I'm very glad to say that Secretary of the Athlone Triathlon Club, Maureen O'Brien, joins us to look forward to this event. Maureen, 12-hour challenge, spin-a-thon or run-a-thon. Talk us through what's happening on Sunday, the 2nd of February next year.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dave. Well, the event, as you said, is called the 12-hour challenge, and it hosts a 12-hour turbo spin, which is a stationary bike, and separately a 12-hour run. Now, the run will take place outside from the Athlone Community School, which is based here in Athlone. So the runners will actually take on the local Greenway and the Athlone Regional Sports Centre fitness track, and they can complete various differences from just doing 1 mile an hour to an ultramarathon. It is a tough endurance event, but it is open to a relay option as well. So, for instance, you could have 12 people doing 1 hour each, and that's for the run and the bike. So it's actually completely open for lots of people of various different abilities to take place.
Okay, great stuff. And I mentioned that it is in the name of charity, and there's 2 charities in line for support. If anyone wants to get involved, they will be supporting the Athlone Family Resource Centre and the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association. Talk us through the idea behind associating with the 2 charities for the 12-hour challenge.
Sure, yeah. So we decided we wanted to support a community-based charity, and I suppose the Athlone Family Resource Centre, to start with, has been a long pillar of strength within the community. They do support families in need within the Athlone area, helping them to navigate their life struggles and offering a place of comfort and guidance for them. We did want to support them within this fundraising challenge because they don't get that much support from the government. So the second one there is the IMNDA, Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association. So I know this all too well, as my own dad, unfortunately, is suffering the condition, and he's in his 3rd year of suffering from motor neuron disease. But the IMNDA offer essential support for families and individuals that bravely face the challenges of motor neuron disease, and they care for them during the incredible tough times. So that was our reason, I guess, behind that one in particular. Just to say something quickly about my dad, if I can. My dad, he was a Tullamore man. I'm also a Tullamore lady, has been a long-standing member of the Tullamore Harriers, and has ran multiple races cross country, and even I think up until he was 65 he was involved in the cross country, and was diagnosed then at 68.
And do you know what? It's not the first time we've had someone on the programme who is doing something like this to raise funds for the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association. That must give you a fundamental motivation and a real personal sense of purpose when it comes to this event, Maureen.
It does, absolutely. And it was my idea when the club, Athlone Triathlon Club, were trying to, do a charity fundraiser. We were trying to think of what we could do, and it was my idea. And I suppose the fundraising for the IMNDA was the purpose behind that. There is, I suppose, a personal passion, in making sure that this event is, as great as it can be for those reasons behind that. Unfortunately, the disease has become quite common of late, and why lots of people, I suppose, are fundraising for it. But the fundraising is badly needed. Yeah,
so two great causes. The day itself, these spin-a-thons and run-a-thons, from what I gather speaking to people, the atmosphere is always fantastic on the day.
Absolutely, and we have a super day planned. So the day itself takes place on Sunday, the 2nd of February 2025, and as I said, is located in the Athlone Community College, which is right in the middle of town, and it does have access to the Athlone Sports Centre and also to Athlone Town Football Club. The day will be open to anybody to pop in and out to see their members or their family members or their friends taking part. We have access to an ice cream machine. I know it's February, but they can still come in and pour their own ice cream. We have an MC, we have a DJ, we have 12 different instructors for the spin-a-thon that's going to sit up on a stage and that's going to give you that hour of spin. So you won't ever have the same, thing twice. You won't have the same session twice. So it's going to be fun, interactive. There's going to be lots of people there, just having a great time and supporting great causes.
Tell us, how are you going to tackle the event yourself?
I am, yeah. So it was initially thought that I would just event manage the day, but because of my personal connection to one of the charities, I really did want to slog it out. So I'm going to do the full 12-hour spin-a-thon. So wow. I'm going to get on my bike at 7 a.m. I'm going to get off it at 10 to 8 for 10 minutes so I can go to the toilet and get a drink and refuel and all that. And I'm going to be back on at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to follow that system right away till 7 p.m. that evening. Also, my husband is taking part in the 12-hour run, and my son, in honour of his granddad, is also taking part in the run element as well.
Well, look, I can't preempt the feelings that you'll feel over the course of that day, but to have your family involved and for you all to be working to support both your father and the Irish Motor Neuron Disease Association, I imagine there's no way of preparing for how you're going to feel on the day, and just as well that you get to kind of, I suppose, express what your father means to you through something that you all share, which is the sort of physical exercise and that sort of transcendental nature of endurance sport.
Absolutely. I mean, we come from a long line of it in our family. My brother, who is actually in the States, has membership with the Tullamore Harriers, but he competes in Ironmans, ultramarathons. He's super fit. My sister, the same. She lives in Cavan, and obviously I do triathlon myself. So yeah, we're well up for endurance. But as I said at the start, you don't have to be that way inclined to partake in this. We have lots of people already registered as a relay option where they're doing 1 to 2 hours each, and they have a base or medium level of fitness. So it really is up to everyone. But yeah, surely we love the endurance side of things. A hardship.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's whatever it is about endurance, for those that it clicks with, the overcoming of the hardship or simply being in the midst of the hardship gives a perverse satisfaction. So that's obviously a large proportion of people who will show up for the 12-hour challenge in Athlone on Sunday, February 2nd, maybe of that mind. But by the same token, as you said, with the relay option, like I remember years and years and years ago, I wasn't in any sort of shape to run a marathon. So I joined in on a work one with a relay. So it was 10K each or 10K plus change. And you still get all the atmosphere, all the great feeling. You can really exert yourself, but you don't have to fall back on months worth of training or anything like that. So if anyone's kind of thinking that they'd just like maybe to get the ball rolling in the new year on getting fitter and doing more exercise, doing a relay for the 12-hour challenge would make a great event out of it and a bit of fun for them.
Absolutely, it would indeed, and they would still be contributing to the two charities, and they would have fun with their friends, and can really set their sights on just, trying to do something for themselves. I know everybody in the new year wants to, get fit, new year, new me. But, this is a great way of doing that, all while supporting some incredible charities.
Yeah, so once again, the details, if anyone wants to get involved, Maureen, talk us through what they should do from the moment they're listening to this evening's Health and Fitness show. How do they go about getting involved in the 12-hour challenge next year?
Well, we have a website, which would be the first point, I think, and that is www.12hourchallenge.ie. And that will give you all the information about the event. We have frequently asked questions there as well, but there is also a contact me form on that, and those actually come directly to me. So if they log on to that will give all the information that they would need. You can reach out to Athlone Triathlon Club on our socials either, or directly to myself on socials as well. So there's lots of ways that you can contact, and I would ask people to consider that. Jump onto our website, take a look at what we're offering. We've got some lovely merchandise as well that everybody's going to get, regardless of they're doing the relay or the solo action. And we also are looking for volunteers on the day as well, because it is community. So if anybody, they can't maybe bring the event or do the event, that they might be able to show some support and volunteer on the run route. We also give some merchandise and some food for that. So we have lots going on, and we're just looking for the people.
Well, I can see here, based on a picture I'm looking at, the quarter zip top that is given out looks pretty decent.
It is pretty nice.
Good stuff.
It's pretty nice. As triathletes, we love the merchandise. So yeah, we made sure that that's good.
And you're dead right. Look, the very best of luck with it, Maureen. Congratulations to everyone involved on putting this together so far. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you get on, and we'll catch up with you down the line.
That's great, Dave. Thank you so much.
Next, Cian Reddy joins us to talk about running and sparring through Christmas.
Health and fitness.
With DS Sports. Is your sports club ready for a Christmas kit upgrade? Contact DS Sports at 085 871 5311 or info@dsports.ie. DS Sports, the teamwear specialists. Your success, our priority. Let's grow together.
Midlands 103.
Yeah, really looking forward to it, David. It was a great experience there in July, making my debut. I was like I said before, it was a very small crowd, or a very small venue. So having a big crowd in a small venue, it creates an incredible atmosphere. And just really looking forward to doing it all again, and having the first couple behind me now. And kind of, I suppose, we're in with the new team. We've had our couple of fights, and we're moving on, and we're improving in the gym. And it'll be very good to show what we've been working on February 15th.
Yeah, that must be really something to savour. Firstly, you're going back to the Cedar Court Hotel in Bradford where you made your debut. I'm sure you were, regardless of how many amateur bouts you've had and how much preparation you had for that first fight and how much you were expected to win, you must have been a ball of nerves before the walkout in Bradford the last time you were there. This time, there'll be a lot of things that are familiar to you based on the first fight.
Yeah, the first one was a complete different experience. A lot of my friends there, the 80 or however many were there, would have never seen me box, never even seen me spar. So to compete in front of all of them for the first time, I suppose, was a complete different experience. And being the first fight with a new team as well, in regards to the lads, training with the lads in Unit 3 in Ace when I'm in Ireland, and with Wayne Woods and his family when I'm in Leeds. So I had a lot to kind of prove to myself and prove to them, and I put in a good performance against a very crafty opponent for my first fight as well. He was tricky. He was a southpaw. He had a bit of skills. But I was very happy with how it went. And this time now there's going to be I suppose a little bit of deja vu, but in the same time we've done it before over there. Had the crowd, had the nerves, and it's all experience now for the next one.
Yeah, next one is the 25th of February, which means you're right in the middle of your training camp, I imagine, and you've got Christmas right in the middle of that training camp as well. So I imagine you're going to have to lay off the stuffing and the desserts to some sort of a degree. Tell us about your Christmas plans.
We're actually going abroad with my family, kind of just taking a bit of time as well. Like we like to spend Christmas abroad. We were doing it the last couple of years, but my coach from England, Wayne Woods, is going to be there as well, so he'll be keeping an eye on me, and I'll be on the running track, or I'll be in the gym probably once or twice a day. Even though it is kind of a holiday, I still need to stay on top of things and prepare as best I can and to the best of my abilities. So yeah, they'll be keeping a close eye to make sure I'm like you said, I'm behaving myself.
Look, I've no doubt that would be no bother to you. Talk us through the kind of sessions you're doing at the moment. You were telling me before we hit record here that you were out running this morning.
Yeah, this morning I sparred last night. Did a couple of rounds there, 4 rounds with a guy. He actually won the nationals this year. He's an amateur, so they don't really do a whole lot of rounds like the way we'd be trying to build the extra rounds. So I did 4 with him, and then 4 straight onto the pads, and body bag, and the coach is pushing you when you're that bit tired. When you're a little bit fatigued, you're trying to keep your shape. You're trying to build your engine, I suppose, for the longer rounds when they come. And then this morning it was 7 kilometers steady enough. And then we're into the gym tonight is again probably a bit of pad work and a bit of partner work, some bags and stuff like that. And then if we're not running and boxing, so I'd either do a running session or a sprint session in the morning time, or a strength and conditioning session, and then we're in the gym as well in the evening. So it's twice a day now, 6 days a week. It's all going. When you're trying to work as well, it can be tiring, but it has to be done. You don't want to look back and say, oh, I could have done more here. So every morning I force myself to go to bed and do the best I can.
I was just going to ask you, because I'm sure lots of our listeners, if they've been in a gym, or they might have classes or training with their club or anything like that on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening, let's say, and maybe a match, a game, a fight, whatever at the weekend. The days in between, you're just like, my muscles are tired. I'm so glad to be on the couch tonight. Whereas that feeling of muscle tiredness and delayed onset muscle soreness and that type of stuff, you have to train through that. How does your body develop and react to that over time?
I've gotten used to it. Look, I always have hard days, and days I find it hard to get out of bed. Even last night I did a really tough strength and conditioning session the night before, so I was a bit sore, going into sparring. But I suppose it's about peaking at the right time. I always try and get my really hard session done in the morning. Then we do a bit of technical work or whatever in the evening time. It's one of these, like it's better to have it done for the day and say, oh, I have that one in the bank or whatever, and you're just kind of counting up the sessions. I've gotten that used to it though. If I take like a full day off training, as much as I like chilling, I find it very hard to sleep, like, because I've so much energy to burn because I'm doing it so long. Like, so I was saying to the boys, like, last weekend I took a day off there when we were at the fights in Monte Carlo, and I couldn't sleep at all that night. They were all in the bed till 11 and 12, and the next day, and I was up at 7, like, into the swimming pool, into the sauna, like, because I couldn't sleep, like.
That is really interesting. Your body must be, obviously your body has been trained over the course of your adolescence and your early adulthood as an amateur boxer, but this is another level entirely. How do you feel your body's reacting to the rigours of professional training?
It is very tough. Like I said, a lot of lads at the top level, they train full time, but the money you make early in your professional career, like, you're not going to be able to live off it. So I have to work as well, and it can be tough, like when they're resting and you're sparring with the top lads, and you know what I mean. You're maybe going straight from work after whatever you were doing that day. Yeah, it can be tough, but I think I'm dealing with it well. And like I said, there is times I have to force myself out of bed in the morning, but I'm glad I do it. Like I said, when I have it done for the day, and then at least I can kind of half relax a little bit throughout the day if I'm not working too hard, and then I have my other session in the evening. But look, it is tough, and it takes a lot of getting used to, but I have to keep pushing on.
You must be proud of the work you're able to do at the moment, balancing professional life with pro boxing. That's not a small achievement.
No, it's tough. I like, sometimes, human nature, you constantly want to better yourself. So even after my last fight, the lads were all, waiting for me down the pub or whatever. And the first thing I did was watch back my fight on the live stream, because I want to try and perfect my performances. And sometimes when you're, I suppose, a bit of a, like, in terms like I would say I'm a perfectionist, like, but it's a tough sport to be a perfectionist in, because you can't really be perfect at it. You know what I mean? There's always something you can do different, and I'm tough on myself. Like in my last fight, I was kept it out long range, didn't take many shots or anything like that against a dangerous opponent, kept boxing, doing what I had to do. But I'm like, could I have did that a little bit better? Could I have stepped on? But you're always trying to better yourself and progress. Like, you know what I mean? If I do a run in a 5 kilometers in, let's say, 20 minutes, next day I want to do a 19 and a half. So you're always wanting to better yourself, and I think it's good and bad in a way. It has its benefits and then it has its downfalls as well, because you're never happy, but at times, you know what I mean, you should be a bit more proud of yourself, but you're just constantly trying to better yourself.
Yeah, well, it's a great mindset to have. As far as I'm aware, then obviously you've got the venue figured out for the next bout on February 25th. The opponent is yet to be determined. Have you an idea of the kind of profile of fighter you're looking to take on? Someone with experience, someone that offers a certain kind of challenge. What are you and your team looking for?
Yeah, it's actually on February 15th, Saturday night in Bradford.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, yeah.
No problem. So my first opponent, like I said, was a tricky kind of southpaw, crafty, kind of took the shots well on the back foot, moved a bit. My second opponent was more come forward, rugged, had a bit of strength behind him. I don't really know. I actually don't know my third opponent. Don't have a clue who it is yet. I'll probably find out in the next couple of weeks. Sometimes in professional boxing early in your career, you only find out maybe a week, 2 weeks before. Both times I've had plenty of notice, but I don't know. We just want to continue to step it up bit by bit. So when the step up comes, like a big fight down the road, we're ready. We've kind of covered all different styles, different opponents. I have done a lot in the amateurs, but professional is different, you know. And then you're stepping up the rounds and things like that. So maybe somebody who does a bit of both this time, you know, can box a bit, can fight a bit. I'm not too sure. But I know my coaches and manager, they're all guiding me in the right direction, and they have my best interest at heart. So like I took my time when I was picking who I wanted to be coached by, who I wanted to be managed by, and I'm very happy with the choice over the last 8 or 10 months since I decided to turn professional. So I'm just going to let them keep doing their thing. I'll keep doing mine to the best of my ability, and we'll just continue moving forward, please God, together.
Yeah, it must be crucial as well to have trust in the people around you in the professional game.
Yeah, like people do say it's a I suppose a lonely sport, and it's a sport you kind of nobody really has your back and things like this. But look, I can only speak from my experience. I have to give a special mention to my coach Wayne Woods in Leeds, who took me in kind of with his family. You know, like I said before, when I go there training, I fully focus on training for a couple of weeks, like 5-6 weeks before my fights. I sleep in his house, like, you know what I mean. His wife does the washing for me. Like, they've cooked meals. I stay with them. Like, they really treat me like a son. You know what I mean. So it takes that kind of a bond between family and between coaches and boxers to progress, I suppose. And what they've done for me has been unbelievable. So I can't thank them enough. I'm just going to keep continuing to try my best to make everybody proud. And yeah, so like I said, I'm very happy with the team I picked. And I can only speak from experience that has been very positive over the last few months anyway.
Yeah, February 15th in Bradford, Cian Reddy's a third professional bout, looking to go 3-0. Before I let you go, Cian, we were speaking last time about TJ Doheny before his fight against Naoya Inoue, who is obviously one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. It did not go TJ's way, and obviously he was really frustrated in the fact that he picked up an injury that totally took the power out of his body. Unfortunately, to anyone who's inexperienced in watching boxing, they could have drawn some negative conclusions to it. But just to answer any of those criticisms, he's gone and booked himself another title fight against an undefeated fighter. He's got absolutely no fear, this guy. Yeah,
he's just fighting at the highest level, and hats off to him for continuing to do so. Nick Ball is another very good featherweight world champion, probably in my opinion, he's probably the best of the world champions in that way. You know, there's so many different organizations now, but in my opinion, Nick Ball is probably the best featherweight right now. So he's not just fighting the softest touch or I know you can say there's no soft touches as a world champion, but you know what I mean. He's fighting the best of the bunch. And like as I actually, when I was away the other day, that's when I seen it for the first time online. I don't get any exclusive access or anything like that to know when he's fighting or anything like that. So it's great to see him competing at that level, and we'll all be over there to Liverpool to support him the minute it came out. I actually hadn't seen it yet. My mother had sent me a message, "Are we going?" And she sent it to me. So we'll all be there to support him and continue to back him. I'll always back TJ. You know, he's had my back. Sent me messages, you know, wishing me luck and stuff, and congratulating me on my debut. And you know, like he's very busy as well, and he's his thing going on. I know how it can get, so I'll always support him. And yeah, he's an incredible athlete to look up to, and I hope to God he can do it and show how good he is.
Yeah, so he's exactly 4 weeks after your own fight. He's on the 15th of March there in Liverpool against Nick Ball. The odds might be stacked against him somewhat, but he's obviously shown over the course of multiple years, including his journey to his own world title, he's got the capability. We're hoping Cian Reddy can get up to those levels, those lofty heights as well in the future. Cian, the best of luck with your festive training programme. We might catch up with you just before the fight or after. Thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thanks a million, David. Thanks for having me on again.
Next up, we're talking about helping people who live amongst conflict, disease and climate change.
Health and fitness.
With DS Sports. Is your sports club ready for a Christmas kit upgrade? Contact DS Sports at 085 871 5311 or info@dsports.ie. DS Sports, the teamwear specialists. Your success, our priority. Let's grow together.
Midlands 103.
Welcome back. Goal Mile organiser in Portarlington, Dr. Eddie Murphy, has been chatting to our reporter, Caoimhe Killeen, about all the good stuff coming up for Goal over Christmas.
So if people check out goal.org, they can see that there are many goal miles, which is a wonderful tradition where people can run, walk or jog for 1 mile on Christmas Day. And it's amazing. It's really empowering, and it's a volunteering thing. A very short commitment. Creates a lovely family tradition. And in Portarlington, the Goal Mile starts at 11 and finishes at 11:30. So you have loads of time to get back and have the turkey.
Of course. And have you been involved in Goal Mile for a while yourself? Have you, participated in the events?
I've been very lucky. I've been organising the Goal Mile for over 15 years in Portarlington GAA Club. And we've done the Goal Mile in all sorts of weather, whether it's snow, rain, sunshine. We've completed it in all types of weather.
And the Goal Mile in itself is very much like the Park Run initiative in the sense of you just show up on the day and it's all about just keeping your health up, just getting a run in, raising money for charity, and of course all about that festive spirit as well.
It's the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of supporting Goal, who are a charity organisation, work with the most vulnerable in many parts of the world in their humanitarian effort, and people can walk, they can run, bring a family and friend. It's a nice way of connecting. Sometimes people can be a little bit lonely or isolated around Christmas period, and they can create nice family tradition as well. So it's some things that also gets people out for a little bit of fresh air on that Christmas morning, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful, cheery and uplifting experience.
Of course, and you yourself have organised the Portarlington Goal Mile for about 15 years, am I right?
Yeah, I've been involved in a team. I've been involved in organising the Portarlington Goal Mile. People can go up to our I Donate page, but really you can turn up and just show up in the day. You don't need to register in advance. If you do, you get a T-shirt if that's something that you really want. But on the day, you can turn up and donate in the day, just run or walk a mile.
And what have you kind of seen in your 15 years of organising the Portarlington event? There must be a lot of, I suppose, memorable moments of, like, as you said, connection and people looking to beat isolation over the Christmas period.
It's a nice coming together for a community of sport, whether people are involved in walkers or tennis players, Gaelic footballers, hurlers, rugby players, people are involved in sport and not. People want to just come out and do something on Christmas Day and meet others. So there's a sense of a little community there who can come together. And I'd encourage people to look up goal.org and look up for their local goal mile. And please come and join us in Portarlington at 11 o'clock on Christmas morning. You'll be all finished by 11:30. You can head home.
Of course, you want to spend Christmas the rest of the day with your family as well. And your day profession as well. Of course, you work as a doctor. So obviously, I'm sure you're telling your patients a lot that movement is key to keeping everything up, keeping your physical health up, keeping your mental health up. And events like Go Mile, or even just the concept of going for a walk or run in general, boosts your overall mood.
So as a psychologist, we know that there's a huge benefit from the whole area of movement and our mood. There's a very strong link to movement and mood, and being out, being active, connecting with doing in nature, whether you walk in forests or whether you walk on the road or you run. There's huge benefits. We have hormone release, the impact on our well-being, impacts on our mobility, our strength, all the our ability to make us stronger in body and in mind. So movement is key.
And I suppose you yourself have found in your line of work that movement is, as you said, key as well.
Indeed, yeah. There's a really strong evidence base for people that'll impact on their mental well-being in a positive way. For many years, psychologists are asked what's wrong with people, but we know that what keeps people well, and we know that movement can be a big factor in supporting people to keep well, and that can be involved in community organisations and walking groups, and can be really powerful when it comes to impacting on our well-being.
Of course, and most of these events as well are happening not just on Christmas Day but on Stephen's Day as well. So over the course of those 2 days, it just doesn't have to be on Christmas Day. It can be Stephen's Day as well, and all about coming together.
Events and there are different events, and I know for years the Laois Hospice do a big walk up in the Slieve Blue Mountains. There's a smaller trail, and then there's a larger trail, and very successful. It's been there many decades, a brilliant organisation, and I know I've done it myself for many years, and incredible work that they do up in the Slieve Blue Mountains. So if you're in the Midlands, that's a lovely place to come on St. Stephen's Day.
Bringing it back to Go Mile, what would you say to anyone listening at the moment who's maybe never heard of Go Mile, and I suppose the mission that it does throughout the year as well, and might be considering joining on Christmas Day or Stephen's Day at their local event, but might not be sure of the whole exercise aspect of it? They might be thinking, I don't know about that now, like walking X amount of distance or whatever. What would you say to anyone listening to encourage them to sign up and get involved?
Well, we've had children from 5 years of age to adults to 85, from 5 to 85. People, I would just say, turn up, don't think about it, just do it. Create a new tradition in your life, or reignite an old one. If you're thinking about these things, I think action is the way to do it. So I'd encourage you, just go along to your local Goal Mile, check it on at goal.org, and there's different miles right throughout the Midlands. So we'd love to see you there, and you can donate at the gate, and we welcome every person, from young and old.
Of course, and it's important to note as well that Goal is just not for Christmas. They do amazing work all year round for charity as well. So
Goal is involved in doing humanitarian work right from in Syria, Sudan, in Lebanon, in Gaza. They're really, really important, where they work with the poorest of the poor, quite often the first in there, and the goalies, they call them, are people who have worked in these organisations. And we're just trying to put our hand on their shoulder and saying, we can support you in your work. And it's a small contribution to the huge work that they do. It's a very small contribution that we make.
Of course, and Eddie, just to remind people again of Portarlington, the Go Mile event there, and where they can sign up on the day.
So you can find out all your Gold Mile events at goal.org, and on the Gold Mile in Portarlington starts at 11, finishes at 11:30, and you just pop in, say hello, and we'll have our start. We start at 11, we do a mass start, everybody starts together, and we just enjoy the whole process.
That is Health and Fitness in 2024, over and out. Thank you so much for being with me this year. A huge thank you to everyone who's come into us, who's taken a call from us, and to Shannon Fogarty and Michael Cannon for getting us on the internet and whatever it is they do there. Massively indebted to them for it. We'll be back for the first Friday of the new year, so until that evening, take care of yourself, have a happy Christmas, and I'll talk to you soon.